Welcome back. Now under Introduction to Functions, let us talk about the built-in name variable and the string literal main. Dear friends, in Python, there is no explicit main function like in languages such as C or Java. Python interpreter execute code line by line starting from the first line of the script. So it does not matter whether the main function present or not in Python. So there is no explicit main function in Python. Okay? But we need to understand the importance of the built-in variable name and the string literal main. See, my dear friend, this is not main function. It is the built-in string literal main. Okay? Let us understand. Before that, let me take one simple, hello world program in Python and C language. See, the hello world program in Python is just one line program. But the same program in C language, if you consider, first of all, we need to include the standard input-output library. Then we need to have the main function because the C program execution starts at main. Then we have the code block of main and the printf function. Of course, I cannot execute it because I do not have the C compiler here. But the Python code, I can execute it. So when I run this code, I'll get the output hello world. Now let me take one more program. If the name variable is equal to the main string literal. This is a syntax of, selection statement. We'll try to explore this later on clearly, but just try to understand. If this condition is true, the if block is executed. What is the if block, sir? I'll add the same printf statement. Okay, so let me run this code. Still I get the output. See, my dear friends, what is the difference between this code and this code? See, in this, if you run this file, suppose there is some name for this particular file. Suppose you name this file test file or test.py. Okay. Hello world. Okay. Now, if you run this particular file, you get the output hello world. But suppose you import this file in other files, again this hello world will be printed. But if you consider this particular code, if you run this file directly, suppose you name this as some test2.py. If you run this, it will execute and it will give you the hello world output. But if you import this file, okay, suppose you name this like some test2.py. Now, suppose this is imported in some other file, that is import test2, then this code will not be executed. Why? You made this code private to this particular file. So, in Python, when we create modules, module means collection of, functions and variables, and modules may also have some execution code. That is, there is some code to be executed. But suppose if you want that code to be executed only in that particular file, that is only private to that particular file, then we can use this name variable. So using this name variable, you can make a part of the code of a module private to that particular module. That is executed only when you run that file directly. But when it is imported to the other files, that particular code will not be executed. So for that purpose, we are going to make use of this name variable. See, if it is not clear, don't worry. We try to explore it more now. Now look at this name variable. In Python, each module or file has its own name variable. Every module or file is having its own name variable. That is, name variable of that particular module is assigned some value. So the name is a built-in variable which evaluates to the name of the current module. So this name is assigned the value. What is the value? The name of the current module. And the behavior of the name variable allows Python scripts to behave differently when run directly versus when imported as modules into another script. See, my dear friends, here I am having a simple program. Okay, both the programs are going to do the same work. Now look at this. So here I am having a function definition. Okay, then I am printing the value of the name variable. I am printing the value of the name variable just to see what is the value of this name variable when you run directly. And then I am calling this particular function. So when you call this particular function, this hello world will be executed. But here, optionally, I just kept this, I'm printing the value of the name variable. See, when you run this file directly with some name, what happens is this name variable is set to the string literal main. Whenever you run a Python file or module directly, its name variable is set to the built-in string literal main. So when you run this file, of course, hello world, anyhow you get the value of this name variable is string literal main. Let us see this. See here, what is the value of the name variable? See, name variable is assigned the value of the built-in string literal main whenever you run the file directly. Now look at this program. Here what I am doing, same function. Okay, it is having a single statement, print statement, hello world. Now what I am checking, if name is equal to the string literal main. What do you mean by that? That is, if you are running the file directly, whenever you are running this file directly, only then this code is executed. That is, this part of the code is executed only when you run the file directly. See, mostly at the basic level, we run file directly only. Generally, the importing of the files will not happen. So, because of that, we may skip this particular part of the program, my dear friends. Okay, but it is very good practice to use this in programs, because if you want to keep code which is private to that particular file, which is executed only when you run the file directly, then we need to use this if block. Okay, what we are checking, whether name is assigned the value main, that is the string literal main. Name is equal to the string literal, the built-in string literal main. So this happens only when you run the file directly. Okay, so if you run this particular program, what happens? Of course, that hello world will be printed and this 56 is printed. Here what is happening, because you are running directly, because of that these two statements are executed. That is, the function is called and this print statement happened. Please note that. See, my dear friends, when a module is run directly, its name variable is set to the string literal main. But when a module is imported, then its name variable is set to the name of the module. See, to understand this, let me take program. Now consider this program, my module. Okay, this is a program. So here I am directly printing the name variable. See, when you run this program directly or this file directly, what happens? The name variable is set to what? The main, the string literal main. So what is printed? Underscore underscore main underscore underscore is printed. Now if you observe, here we are having if part and else part. See, this if part says what? When you run directly, these two statements, these two print statements are executed when you run directly. And this else part will not be executed when you run directly, sir. But if you import this module in other file, then what happens? The if part will not be executed, only the else part will be executed. So first of all, let us save this and run directly and see what happens. So when you run directly because when you run directly, the name is set to the string literal main. So main is printed and this two printf statements in if block are executed. So let us see the outputs. And you see name is equal to main, the two print statements in if block, that is this module is being run correctly, this statement is printed, and this code runs only when the module is executed directly. Those two printf statements are executed. Okay. Now what I do is I take a function test. Now look at this. In this, I am importing my module. That is this program or this module I am importing in this test file. And here I am printing underscore underscore name. See, my dear friends, this test is having its own name variable. My module is also having its own name variable. See, the name variable of test is set to what? Because when it is run directly, it is set to what? Underscore underscore main underscore underscore. But you imported this my module. When you import it, this name, because it is imported, this name is what? The name of the file. What is the name of the file? My module. And because when it is imported, the if part is not executed, the else part is executed. That is, this import, what it will do? It will assign name, the value of the file, that is my module. And because here, when it is imported to other file, the name is not main. The name is equal to name of the file. So this part is false. So the else part is executed. That is, this module is being imported to another module. So if you actually run this particular file, the output is like this. First, because you imported the file, in the imported file, the outside, executable code, that they're all executed. This is outside this if block. Now this is executed. And here, what is the name? The name of the file, that is my module. Okay. Then the else part statement, whatever else part statement is there, this module being imported to another module, that is executed. Because when it is imported, the name is not main, the name is my module. So the else part is executed. After that, the executable code of test is executed. The statements in test file are executed. Here the main, the name is set to what? Main. So what happens? Now we are going to get the value of the name, which is main. And for the test file, the name is equal to main. What happened? This statement is printed. That is, the statement in if block are printed. That is, this is main script of test file. This is printed. So if you run this, you can see the same output, my dear friends. See, as I told you, my module. This module is being imported to another module, the main. This is the main script of the test file. Now let me take one more file, which is test2. Now in the test2, I am importing test. So importing test means first it is importing my module. So my module means what, sir? The same statements. So my module means what? The name is my module and the else part, because it is imported, this part is printed. So first these two statements are printed as it is even in test2. Then the statements in test are executed. Now when test is imported to other file, what is the name of the test now? The name is test now. Okay, so what is printed? The name of the module, which is test, which is imported, that is test, is printed. Then the else part is printed, because now when this file is imported to another file, name is not main, name is equal to test. So if block is false, that is the condition in if block is false, so the else part is executed. So what happens next? I am imported to another module. That is the statement in else part is executed. Then the statements in test2. What are the statement? print underscore underscore name underscore underscore. Now this is the name of the test2. What is the name of the test2? The string literal main. So this is printed. And finally, because name is equal to main, this is the main script of test2. This is printed. Okay. So if you run this, you can see the output, my dear friends. Let me save and see the output. You can see this, my module. This module is being imported to another module. Test, I am imported to another module. Underscore underscore main. This is the main script of the test2. Okay. So this is about the name variable. Okay. Hope the idea is clear.